Have you ever wondered why, even in the most difficult moments of your life, you always find a way out? Why does it seem like there's a higher power watching over you, opening doors when all seems lost? If you're a Gemini, you need to know that this is no coincidence. There's a deep spiritual reason why the universe never abandons you. Today I'll reveal 7 sacred reasons that explain why God has such special care for those born under your sign. And believe me, when you discover these truths, you'll finally understand why your life is marked by so many blessings in disguise, by so much invisible protection. Stay with me until the end, because the last reason will touch your heart in ways you never imagined. Shall we begin this spiritual journey together? Reason 1. The messenger soul that carries the divine light. Geminis carry within themselves a sacred mission that few signs receive. You were chosen to be messengers of the divine word here on earth. Do you know that ease you have in communicating, in touching people's hearts with your words? This is no ordinary talent. It's a spiritual gift planted in your soul before you were even born. God never abandons Geminis because he needs you as a bridge between heaven and earth, between sacred knowledge and those in need of light. Think about it. How many times have you said the right thing at the right time to someone? How many times have your words brought comfort, hope, or completely changed the course of a situation? This happens because you are a divine channel. When you speak from the heart, it's not just you speaking. It's the universe using your voice to reach those in need. That's why, even when you feel lost, confused, or aimless, a new opportunity, a fresh start, soon presents itself. God cannot abandon you because your mission is not yet complete. The problem is that many Geminis don't understand this and end up feeling overwhelmed. You feel like you need to be available to everyone, solve everyone's problems, and in the end you end up exhausted. But look how interesting. When you truly accept this gift as something sacred, when you understand that this is your way of serving the greater plan, everything changes. You start to set healthy boundaries, choosing when and how to use your energy. In practice, this means stopping feeling guilty about saying no. It means understanding that you don't have to solve everything alone. A real-life example. Imagine a friend calls you desperately in the middle of the night. Before, you'd rush to help, even though you were exhausted. Now you can offer a word of comfort and calmly arrange to talk the next day. You're still a messenger of light, but in a balanced way. The benefits of this are immense. First, you preserve your energy for what truly matters. Second, you teach those around you to also find strength within themselves. And third, you honor your gift without destroying yourself in the process. When you do this, divine protection becomes even more evident in your life. The right doors open, the right people appear, and you feel the peace of someone on the right path. God cares for you because you are fulfilling your purpose with wisdom and love. Reason 2. The courage to start over that inspires heaven. There's something about Geminis that touches God's heart in a special way. It's their ability to get back up again and again. Do you know that feeling of having fallen 1,000 times and still finding the strength to try again? That's not stubbornness, my dear. It's a sacred courage that comes directly from your connection with the divine. The universe never abandons those who have the courage to start over, because this attitude represents pure faith in action. Do you know why this is so important spiritually? Because every time you start over, you're telling the universe that you trust in the greater plan. You're affirming that you believe there's something better waiting for you, even without guarantees, even without proof. This faith moves mountains in the spiritual world. Each new beginning you make creates waves of positive energy that spread and touch other lives. You can't imagine how many people have been inspired by your strength to not give up on their dreams. Many people think that starting over is a sign of failure, that it means having to go back. But for Geminis, starting over is a sacred art. You understand, even if unconsciously, that life is made of cycles, of seasons. Just as nature goes through winter and then blossoms in spring, you know that endings are merely preparation for new, even more beautiful beginnings. And God protects this wisdom within you, because it is rare and precious. How can you put this into practice in a way that further strengthens your spiritual connection? First, stop seeing new beginnings as punishment. When something ends in your life, be it a relationship, a job, or a project, perform a small gratitude ritual. Give thanks for everything that experience taught you. Light a candle, write a thank you letter to yourself, and acknowledge your own strength. A very real example. Let's say you lost a job you loved. Instead of wallowing in sadness and despair, you can make a list of everything you learned there, all the special people you met, and the skills you developed. Then, make a second list of what you want in the next chapter of your professional life. This simple act transforms the energy of loss into the energy of possibility. The benefits of this practice are transformative. You begin to see each ending as a divine gift directing you toward something better. Anxiety diminishes because you trust the process. And the most beautiful thing, you begin to attract opportunities aligned with who you truly are, not who you think you should be. God never abandons those who have the courage to begin again, because they are constantly moving toward their greater purpose. And movement attracts blessings. Reason 3. The sacred duality that balances the world. Here lies one of the deepest secrets about Geminis. You carry within you a duality that isn't a weakness, as many think, but rather a rare and precious spiritual gift. Have you ever noticed how you can see both sides of any situation? How you understand both who is right and who is wrong? This ability comes from a very special divine mission. You are here to bring balance to the world. And God would never abandon anyone who carries this sacred responsibility. The universe works through balance. Day and night, sun and moon, summer and winter. Everything in divine creation exists in a harmony of opposites. And Geminis were chosen to represent this universal truth here on Earth, in human relationships, in everyday situations. When you're at a family gathering where everyone is fighting, you're the one who can listen to both sides and help resolve the conflict. When there's a conflict at work, you see solutions that no one else sees because you can put yourself in the shoes of everyone involved. But look how interesting, you often suffer from this. You feel confused, indecisive, lost between two choices. People criticize you, saying you change your mind too quickly, that you're fickle. But the spiritual truth is different. You're not indecisive. You are whole. You carry within you multiple truths, and this is a blessing, not a curse. The challenge is to learn to honor this nature of yours without judging yourself. To apply this in practice and live in peace with your sacred duality, you need to stop trying to be linear. Society teaches us that we must always be the same, always have the same opinions, always follow the same path. But you weren't made for that. You were made to dance between worlds, to transition between different realities. Allow yourself to change your mind. Allow yourself to have different tastes. Allow yourself to be multiple. A practical example. You can love moments of silence and meditation, and also love parties and gatherings with friends. You don't have to choose. You can be spiritual and at the same time deeply connected to the material world. You can enjoy studying serious subjects and also watching light-hearted television. You can be profound and superficial, serious and funny, homely and adventurous. All of this at the same time because you were created to contain multitudes within yourself. The benefits of embracing your duality are beautiful. You stop putting so much pressure on yourself, stop trying to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. You develop a deep inner peace that comes from accepting yourself completely. And most importantly, you become a force for balance wherever you are. People feel understood by your side. Conflicts are resolved. Harmony is established. God never abandons you because the world needs your balance. You are essential to the divine plan. Look, before we continue, I need to ask you something from the heart. If this video is touching you in any way, if you're feeling seen and understood, help me here. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all our videos on spirituality and zodiac signs. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing we're connected, even from afar. And if you were truly touched by this message, if it brought some light to your day, consider becoming a member of the channel or making a donation. This allows me to continue bringing you this content that nourishes your soul. Every support, no matter how small, makes all the difference. Now let's continue discovering why God loves you so much. Reason 4. Curiosity expands collective consciousness. You know that insatiable desire to learn, to discover, to understand how things work? That curiosity that never lets you rest, that drives you to research the most varied subjects, that leads you to constantly ask the whys and wherefores of things? This isn't just a personality trait. It's a divine calling engraved in your soul. God never abandons Geminis because you are eternal students in the school of life, and each new thing you learn elevates the consciousness of all humanity. It works like this on the spiritual plane. When you seek knowledge, when you want to better understand the world, people, and the mysteries of life, you are actually expanding the light on the planet. Each new understanding you gain doesn't stay with you alone. It spreads energetically and touches other souls, even without you realizing it. It's like throwing a stone into the water and watching the ripples expand. Your curiosity creates waves of awakening that reach places and people you never imagined. Interestingly, many Geminis blame themselves for this trait. You start studying one thing, get excited by books, take courses, and after a while, you're already interested in something completely different. People say you lack focus, that you don't finish what you start. But spiritually speaking, you're right. You didn't come here to be an expert in just one thing. You came to be the person who connects disparate knowledge, who sees patterns where no one else does, who connects dots that seem distant. How can you use this sacred curiosity to your advantage? First, stop forcing yourself to be a specialist. Allow yourself to be a generalist, an explorer, a trailblazer of multiple territories. Second, trust your sudden interests. If you suddenly feel like learning about medicinal plants, go for it even without understanding why. There's always a spiritual reason behind it. Maybe you'll need this knowledge 3 months from now to help someone. Or maybe this study will lead you to another interest that will change your life. A very concrete example. You're going through a difficult time emotionally. Suddenly, you become curious about meditation. You start researching, try some techniques, and that helps you get through the moment. A few months later, you become interested in astrology. You study, learn about your birth chart, and a lot about yourself makes sense. Then comes your interest in healthy eating, exercise, and spirituality. Each interest is a piece of the puzzle of your evolution. The benefits of honoring your curiosity are profound. You live a much richer and more interesting life. You're never bored because there's always something new to discover. You develop an open and flexible mind that can adapt to any situation. And most importantly, you fulfill your mission of being a bridge between different types of knowledge. God protects your journey because each discovery you make is another light in the world. Your curiosity is sacred. Never forget that. Reason 5. The gift of adaptation that reflects divine wisdom. There's a quality about Geminis that's pure spiritual magic. It's the ability to adapt to virtually any situation, person, or environment. Have you ever noticed how you can converse with all kinds of people? How you feel comfortable in both a formal meeting and a casual conversation? How you manage to adjust when life changes suddenly? This flexibility isn't luck, my dear. It's a direct reflection of the very nature of God within you. And the divine never abandons those who carry this wisdom of fluidity. You see, God is infinite, has no fixed form, and is present in everything and everyone. This divine essence of not being rigid, of flowing like water, is planted in the heart of Gemini. You were created to be like water, which molds itself to its container but never loses its essence. You may be in a glass, a river, a cloud, but you are always water. Likewise, you may be in different situations with different people playing different roles, but you are always yourself deep down. This is a wisdom that takes lifetimes for other signs to understand. The challenge arises when you confuse adaptation with loss of identity. Many Geminis feel lost precisely because they're so flexible. You find yourself wondering, who am I really? Why do I change so much depending on where I am, or who I'm with? And then comes the guilt, the feeling of faking it, of not being authentic. But I need to tell you a liberating truth. You are authentic in all your versions. You're not faking it. You're simply showing different facets of the same precious jewel that is you. To transform this characteristic into conscious spiritual power, you need to understand that adaptation doesn't mean nullification. You can adjust to your environment without losing your core values. You can be kind to those who need kindness and firm to those who need firmness, and both are true expressions of who you are. The secret is to stay connected to your center, to what is non-negotiable within you, while allowing the rest to flow naturally. In practice, this means creating daily moments of connection with yourself. It could be 5 minutes of silence in the morning, a walk alone at the end of the day, a journal where you write your thoughts. These moments anchor you in your essence. That way, when you're adapting to external situations, you always know how to return home, to yourself. For example, you spend the entire day being 1,000 things to 1,000 different people. At the end of the day, sit down, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, how am I truly feeling? What do I need right now? The benefits of using your gift of adaptation wisely are wonderful. You navigate life with an ease that others admire. You can solve problems that seemed impossible because you see creative solutions. You genuinely connect with people who are very different from one another, building bridges where there were once walls. And most importantly, you become a living expression of divine versatility. God never abandons you because through you, He can reach the most diverse types of people and situations. You are a sacred instrument of universal connection. Reason 6. The lightness that heals the weight of the world. There's a gift in Geminis that the world desperately needs, especially in these difficult times. It's the ability to bring lightness to difficult situations, to find humor even in adversity, to not let the weight of life crush your spirit. This lightness isn't superficiality as some believe. It's a deep spiritual strength that God planted within you, so that you could be a remedy for weary souls. And the divine fiercely protects those who carry this healing power through joy. Think about the energy that arises when you enter a heavy environment. Maybe it's a tense meeting at work, a family lunch filled with unresolved conflicts, or a friend drowning in sadness. What do you do naturally? You lighten the mood. You tell a funny story, make an ice-breaking comment, change the subject to something lighter. And magically, people breathe a sigh of relief. You've just done immense spiritual work, even without knowing it. You've transformed dense energy into light energy, and that's pure alchemy. The problem is that sometimes you don't appreciate this gift yourself. You think you should be more serious, more thoughtful, more concerned with the important things. When people call you careless or say you don't take anything seriously, you get hurt and start to doubt yourself. But you need to understand one thing. Taking something seriously doesn't mean suffering from it. You can care deeply about things and people without carrying everything as an impossible burden. In fact, that's exactly how you can help more. How can we consciously cultivate this sacred lightness? First, recognize that your joy is a gift, not a flaw. When you're happy, you're not ignoring the world's problems. You're creating a space of light where solutions can emerge. Second, allow yourself to laugh even when things are difficult. This isn't disrespectful of pain. It's choosing not to let pain be the only thing that exists. It's like the sun that keeps shining even when clouds pass by. I'll give you a very practical example. You're going through a serious financial hardship. Of course, you need to take practical steps to resolve it. But while you work on the solution, you can also allow yourself moments of lightness. Watch something that makes you laugh, dance to a song you love, play with a pet. These moments aren't escapes. They're recharges. They're reminding your spirit that life is bigger than any problem. And when you're recharged, you find solutions much more easily. The benefits of this sacred lightness are immense. You don't get sick as much as people who carry heavy loads, because lightness protects your body and mind. You draw people closer because everyone needs a little light. You solve problems more creatively because you're not stuck in drama. And most importantly, you fulfill a beautiful mission of showing the world that it's possible to live with grace, even in the midst of chaos. God never abandons those who spread joy because joy is the native language of heaven. You speak it fluently. Reason 7. Generosity and sharing that multiplies blessings. We've reached the last reason, and it's so beautiful that it will touch your heart deeply. God never abandons Geminis because you have a natural generosity in sharing everything you learn, everything you discover, everything you experience. You don't keep knowledge, experiences, or blessings to yourself. You have a genuine need to share, to tell others, to pass on what you've received. And this, my dear, makes you an open channel through which divine blessings constantly flow. Those who share never become empty, because the universe fills them again. Do you know why this is so spiritually powerful? Because it goes against the human instinct to hoard, to fear running out. When you share freely, you are making an act of absolute faith. You are telling the universe that you trust in abundance, that you believe there will always be more, that you know the more you give, the more you receive. This trust activates spiritual laws of prosperity that few know. You become a river, not a puddle. And in rivers, water is always fresh, always renewed, always alive. See how this manifests itself in your life. You learn a delicious recipe and immediately want to teach it to everyone. You discover an incredible book and start recommending it to all your friends. You go through a difficult situation, learn something from it, and then share your experience to help those going through the same thing. You can't keep quiet when you hear something good. You need to tell, you need to share. And this is one of the most beautiful characteristics of your sign. The only thing you need to be careful about is not sharing compulsively to the point of emptying yourself. Sometimes you get so excited about giving that you forget to receive, to recharge your own energy. It's important to understand that sharing doesn't mean giving everything until there's nothing left. It's like a fruit tree. It bears fruit generously, but it also cares for its roots, absorbs nutrients, and rests during the right seasons. You need to find that balance between giving and receiving, How can we apply this in a healthy way? Make a habit of checking your own energy level before sharing. When someone asks you for advice, information, or help, pause for a second and ask yourself, do I have the energy for this right now? Am I genuinely available, or am I forcing myself? If I'm not available at that moment, it's okay to say you'll help later when you're better. Sharing needs to come from a place of abundance, not scarcity. A practical example. A friend calls you wanting to talk about a problem she's having. You've just gotten home exhausted from a difficult day. Instead of forcing yourself to listen and give advice even when you're exhausted, which wouldn't be genuine, you can gently say, I'm tired right now, but I really want to hear from you. Can we talk tomorrow? This way you honor your need for rest and also honor the importance of being truly present when sharing your energy. The benefits of sharing wisely are transformative. You multiply the blessings in your life in an almost magical way. The more you give, the more you receive, but in unexpected ways. You can teach someone something and weeks later that person teaches you something else valuable. You can help a stranger and then receive help from elsewhere when you need it. The universe always gives back, always. And most importantly, you feel that deep joy of knowing you're making a difference, that your time in this world is leaving beautiful marks. God never abandons those who spread generosity because generosity is the divine heart itself in action. And you, dear Gemini, were chosen to be that heart in human form. After discovering these 7 sacred reasons, can you feel how special you are? How important your existence is in the divine plan? I hope so, because every word in this video was spoken to help you see your true value. You are not alone on this journey. You never have been. God walks beside you every step of the way, every decision, every new beginning. The characteristics you sometimes see as flaws are actually your greatest spiritual treasures. Your ease with words is a divine messenger's gift. Your courage to begin again is pure faith in motion. Your duality is sacred balance. Your curiosity expands the world's consciousness. Your adaptability reflects divine nature. Your lightness heals wounded souls. Your generosity multiplies blessings. All of this together makes you a powerful force of light in this world. Don't allow anyone to diminish your importance. Don't accept criticism that tries to put you in a small box. You were made to fly. And now I want to challenge you. This week, choose one of these 7 reasons that touched your heart the most and consciously practice it. If it was lightness, try to bring joy to at least one situation a day. If it was generosity, share something valuable with someone. If it was the courage to start over, take a new step toward a forgotten dream. Put into practice what you've learned and watch how your life begins to magically change. And tell me in the comments, which of these reasons touched you most? Which one resonated most with you? I'm curious to know which spiritual truth touched your heart. Remember that you are loved, protected, and never alone. The universe conspires in your favor every day. Believe this with all your heart. A hug full of light to you. Until the next video.